was from partner agencies and Stockholm. Actually, no, each other. So I said, if I don't remember your name, I'm going to move the company. That makes you brand you. So once I look at you and I mention your name, then you have a problem. Mention your brand. Maybe should I do the introduction of that? Okay. So got a whole lot here, but before I introduce the panelists, I'd like to first introduce somebody, one of our mentors here today. I guess any other mentor? Yes. Let's go very, very well. Probably had to. Some mentors might next. Yeah. I'm excited about. And also, important part of this, I want to go. I don't know, does anyone know the Blue Sapphire? You know the Blue Sapphire one? Tell me something about that. Men in tech, but you just mentioned the keyword. So I love it when I know that Blue Sapphire being owned. I hope you know that. That's owned. And one good thing also is in Nigeria. Second of all, in 1814, CCO was in yeah. Then we had some in Crete. But one thing that makes well, this session, this event isn't a formal event, it's a semi-formal event. I wanted a formal event, but wanted an informal, semi-formal thing. Now, for the first time in a long time, in the Ministry of Communication, we're having things. We tried the second thing, all bragging rights. Take the second. First, and who founded CCO? Awesome. So we have in the tech ecosystem number 1 and number 2 in the Ministry of Communication. We can get it. So, today we go on to introduce Empire and also.
All right. So good morning, everyone. Thank you all. And most of us have already connected online. For our events everywhere. Drive is very, very hard. So we're the Founder Institute, and we're the world's largest receipt accelerator. HQ is company, founded by Adiresi and Jonathan Richard. Matter of fact, Adiresi and Elon Musk were, they're like this. 2 days, apartment with okay. That's they've been building this business for air growth. So this is the network that we're in. And so this template, this model, a model that is used, built global brands. Global brands, startups who are leveraging technology, especially software as a service. And if I saw friends in Nigeria and they challenge, you know. So they are really like the only American organization that's a brand. But what it does is it gives us access to that network. You can be in America, you can't. It doesn't. And so they are here to help support and build out our own. And like I always say, that we have a mission and we're looking up to innovators like do the magic. But it requires work. There's a system. There's a way to do it. So it's not about just waking up and that's wonderful idea, start doing, and that's how it happens. And so that's what you get experience in the FI Accelerator program. What it is also an investment infrastructure for VC. That is design. So if I can break it down, like how the farmers or set up a nursery plants, but they will now transplant the ones that stop. That's what accelerator helps you validate your idea, get some traction, eventually become investment ready. So the check, boxes that an investor, will need a startup to have checked, what they back you. So we also hear from lots of founders, we need capital, we need capital. So it's both ways. The investor also invest for a return. So if you are a solo founder, for instance, they are not attractive and invest. They want it because the team will bring diverse talents and help to build. So if you look at the global brands, they are not solo. And when you are not solo, when you are a team, you can do bigger things. And that's when we are talking about brands. So there are those metrics that you need. And so what we are doing is company building, packaging you to be attractive to investors. So the first level of our service is called join the accelerator for mentors and holding you all the way till the very end. Those that scale through with vetted, validated ideas. Your idea, if your idea is not validated, then you need to drop out of the program. If you are able to quickly pivot or iterate, all well and good, but you go and come back. Okay. So we also, help you, understand that you don't have to die with an idea. Okay. There's so many problems in the world, and you're all problem solvers. Innovators are problem solvers. So many problems, and Nigeria is just a very table ground of opportunity. So when people are jackpotting, I'm just wondering, jackpotting to where? People are jackpotting and coming here because the Chinese, they're all coming here in groups because there's opportunity there, because there are problems here. So the problems need to be solved like so so we run an end-to-end system that supports startups. So from the core program, you graduate and you become an that is purely fundraising. Now, during the 4 months, if you are able to bootstrap effectively, which is the goal, then you wait to fundraise at a later stage when you want to expand. So you may now discover that money is not really, because you now know how to sell, you now know how to market, you now know how to write things that will not generate. And so we have the fundraiser for fundraising. Have a venture network of investors that we can get the connections. And our goal ultimate goal is for founders to get to IPO, become publicly listed. So dream big and think big. And so we have templates and sprints that we put you through in the accelerator that will make your projections realistically, but in the global picture and all of that kind of stuff. So the whole lot that that the our program offers, and we're happy to have digital startups coming. So we're on our 7th cohort. So far, we have in our proposed startup development. Yeah, have latest cohorts, some that started yesterday. Of course, we have our directors here. So that's FI for you. Briefly, our website is fi.co/Abuja, where also our programs run virtually, also hybrid and open. Our graduations usually are also night. Pre-COVID, we were only on site. COVID. That is also important. That's all. You all know Udemy. No, it's true. A whole lot of them when you check out. Welcome everyone once again. Nice to have you. They're also honored to have with us Maryam Lawan Gwadabe, who is special advisor, Mr. Founder of Mr. Fire Hub in Kano, second hub, that's of the area. Yes. Software engineering. So fix the language. So they have been in the ecosystem even before some of us came to. So they have been, like the session said, we are so delighted that in the Ministry of Communications today, the #1 founder of the hub, and #2. Yeah. So we just want to have some interaction. Interrogate. What can we do? What can we do? We have already seen your footprints. We are happy, but there's more. So welcome. And also, this VIP mixer is being sponsored by FlexiSAF. Yes, FlexiSAF has been very, very supportive. The founder is Bashir, Faiz Bashir, yes, who also startup company now in the brand. So a mentor or founder is and they are an ed tech company. And so he offers valuable support and advice each time we have startups ed tech. Those are the kinds of CEO mentors, the right counsel, experience. So a whole lot. So That's it. Thank you, FlexiSAF.
We're going to be talking about this. Right? Telling us, it's you, perspective. Don't get ask as for because it was initially just Ministry of Communication. Then they moved it on to Ministry of Defense and Vision, and then
So actually, I feel like I'm on hot seat. I'm always in that other side, and all of a sudden I move to the other side. That's from the private sector. I feel like always on the other side. This is so trying to attack people on this one side. And you see, they already applied today. I'm on this hot seat. So I would say that basically I appreciate this event, and part of the reason why I appreciate it because having a mix of people, various organizations to come together, the catalyst for progress, catalyst for prosperity, and all of us here, nobody has to be fortunate, just like she said, what there's actually good for that have co-founders. And for us, this is an opportunity for us to also look for people that we can actually work with. That's the power of serendipity, right? As we are here for something, but we might end up with something different that we've never thought of, and finding something is like a new opportunity of it. So I would say that for us at the ministry, when we started, we had a blueprint. That blueprint has 5 pillars, and each of that pillar, we actually have that it's like a stack that, like the pillar, we know that nothing happens without knowledge, and that is why the tree entity is alive now. That is why we are trying to build the talent pipeline. All that we issues globally talent and how the youth of Africa or Nigeria is an advantage to that deficit. And this is why we said the first thing that we will do is ensure that we build a talent pipeline. And the minister was committed about that. And I think yesterday I was watching YouTube and I saw a video of him 11 years old. And I was like, okay, let me play this video. This is a surprise. So I was just scrolling and it just came up. I watched the video, and the first thing that when he was asked a question about what do we need to do to change the system from what it is at that time. I think 11 years ago, and what he said was knowledge. And for him to have the opportunity in government to still have that mindset of saying that the need for people to, the need for knowledge, the need for people to have the knowledge and capacity so that they can be able to use. You can't innovate if you are not knowledgeable. And that is why the talent pipeline is there, and that is why the knowledge pillar is there to support that. We are doing that. We have launched 3 entity. A lot of people have seen the impact. So sometimes it's just this is our 9th month, and sometimes we might not see the effects. Probably it's after the 4 years, because that is when people have practiced, have been able to get jobs, have been able to build innovations that would revolutionize the ecosystem. That's when we see the effect of it. at the moment we might see a lot of reports, a lot of things that, oh, this project is shabby, this project is this. We can have all our perception about it, but everything that happens is after some time. That is why when you're working on an M&E framework, we have outputs. We have the talent, we're building the technologies, but the outcome is a long term, and we're still committed to learn it. And that is why we work with community managers, we work with training providers, we call them applied learning clusters. And this is where the fellows go there to learn, and they come back, and from there we engage the ELCs to understand what are the things that we need to do better. And this is why for this cohort, after the first cohort, because initially when we launched, we said 1%, 10%, and 100%. And in the 1%, we learned that we need to do the failures foundational skills. First, we thought, oh, when you apply and you get into the program, you would be able to do it. But then we realized that the fellows that we are matching with organizations, they don't have these. I'll just see AIML as I apply. And then when I applied, I realized that, oh, I cannot be able to do that. Because I was thinking that maybe it's generative AI that I was thinking, and I didn't know that I have to code, I have to have basic of software engineering and all that. So with that, it's based on, and we didn't know this until we engaged the ecosystem, and that is the power of collaboration. That's the power of learning from people, and the masters of co-creation are MBA and that is why we're getting these learners from there. And as another thing that we understood that people need to understand what they are going into. I could remember one scenario that happened. It was funny, but it was someone went for a data analysis session, and when he entered, he thought it was data analysis. He thought he was going to learn how to sell his data, internet data. But then entered and he saw the analyzed data and stuff like that. It was not funny, but he came out and he was like, and he now the so he called us and he made I think I what their was so it's justified because that is support, and that is why we introduce introductory ones. So that's what the knowledge pillar. And then we also understand the need for connectivity, and that is why the infrastructure pillar is there. And you have heard that we are putting the permission to the terrestrial cables, and that is all part of the efforts to ensure that we have that infrastructure. Another thing is the DPI. Devs in Gov is existing. That is where the minister touched that we cannot have a community, we cannot have a digital ecosystem without involving the public sector. We are all, some of us here are all from the private sector, and we thought we can reach it. But if the public service are not really involved in that process, we will not be able to achieve digital transformation. And that is why we introduced them to bring them to converge in one place, to discuss, to collaborate, to see how they can be able to come up. Let's say my agency is working on a solution and I know you are capable of doing it. Let's collaborate, let's support each other, let's learn from each other. And that is the power of all the devs in Gov that does. And it's a monthly engagement. When you have time, you can following us on social media. The dates are announced and you can attend to understand. And the minister is committed to ensuring that every devs in Gov is presently available in fact, able to engage with people, to have like more of an interaction, and also to pass the knowledge as a PhD in the ecosystem, the pioneers of the ecosystem. You have a lot of knowledge that you want to get it off you. So he took time to ensure that out of his busy schedule is part of that devs in Gov to come and use it. And that is on that, just to ensure that we have digitally skilled civil service that can be able to effectively implement the digital public infrastructure for us. So that's on the infrastructure pillar. And then the IEC, we call it IEC Innovation, Entrepreneurship and Capital. We realize that because whatever we want to do, a lot of work has been done. A lot of that's from the Startup Act to the work that hubs are doing, to the work that the startups are doing in the ecosystem, the VCs are doing, and all that. or since we have this act, we have to implement this act. And this is why we started from ensuring that the portal that is mentioned, if you have read the Startup Act, I know the act was kind of bulky, but there's a compressed version of this presentation slide that you can take your time to run through and understand. But it's even good for you to actually take your time to read that document, because some part of it is like binding for you, like it has a legal binding for hubs, and also so you have to read those things so that you can be able to know what you are getting yourself into. And with that, we said we are not going to just start doing programs here and there. But the most important thing is how do we begin to implement the Nigerian Startup Act? And that's the first thing, is to have the portal ready, constitute the council, do all the things so that by the time we begin the implementation, startups are laid out. So I encourage people to check the Startup Act portal to get your startup registered, and also so that you can be labeled. This labeling is they will review your status, and then you will label you. And that labeling gives you a lot of access to opportunities that are available on ground. So when you go through the portal, you learn a lot from there. And that is one of the steps that we're taking. And of course, we know that before it was only the tech sector that feels the communications, innovation, that's only the tech sector that knows us. But at the moment, we are looking at all across. That is why we have the 4IR, the fourth industrial revolution. We have the artificial intelligence project on research that involves that we collaborated with the NADF, that's Nigerian Agricultural Development Fund, to implement the agricultural fund to ensure that. So we are looking at all across sectors, and we are looking at the creative economy. How can we be able to leverage artificial technology? We are looking at when we're done with the artificial intelligence aspect, we are looking at UAV. We're looking at, so when you look at our blueprint, it actually captures all the necessary aspects of the emerging technologies. So that is on that pillar. And then we move to research. And we know that, okay, the research is also under the knowledge pillar. And that's why we are also funding a lot of our activities towards research. That's under the knowledge pillar. And this is all part of the things that we're doing to ensure that all other sectors are captured in ensuring that we are also digitally transformed. And that is part of the minister's vision. So I will say that as a techpreneur, as someone from the ecosystem that is trying to ensure that is trying to build a business, for you to achieve your goals, you need to actually read a lot. And reading a lot means all these policies, all these the ministries releasing white papers every now and then because of the HR's academic background. You understand it once we have a project that we work, definitely try to ensure that we also release white paper on that aspect of it. And that is why when you read those white papers, you see the direction the government is heading. And from there, you can tailor your business to align to these areas. So this is just a few part of the things that we are doing. And we're doing, this is just, don't hold us the rest of the moment. It's just 9 months now. And for your information, the budget for 2023 has not been released. So don't say that we are expecting we are doing all these things that you have seen we're doing. We're all doing them from the experience of that we have from the ecosystem, the network that we have from the ecosystem, the abilities that we have from the ecosystem. That is what is pushing us to implement all these things. But alhamdulillah, I believe that we're doing
I see Faiz. Faiz, can you ask clearly?
It's muted.
It's muted.
Yeah,
Hi.
I can
Let's have a call. Faiz Bashir. Faiz, I was
Hi.
going to say, you can't hear us clearly. There's
everyone.
your infrastructure here. So can you hear us clearly?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, great. So we're talking about this transformation. And before I go back to Maryam, I want to hear from the private sector. I know a lot of the private sector guys are still caught old ways of doing. How is the private sector responding to rising their operation? How is it happening? You shouldn't look at the government alone. What are you guys doing? Being a player in this sector.
Sorry, can you come again?
Okay, we're talking about digital transformation.
Okay.
We don't want to keep, attacking the government all the time. You guys in the private sector, tech guys, startup guys, people in regular businesses, how are you guys responding to this digital transformation? Like your business, what are you doing?
Okay. Thank you very much once again. You are all highly welcome. I really wished I was there with you, but unfortunately, I had to join virtually. So please pardon me for that. So in terms of the private sector and how we drive this digital transformation, like you rightly said, I think all the case studies around the world, private sector role is very critical, and government cannot do it all. So the innovation, from the private sector and the collaboration and so on, it's very critical. So talking from our own experience, I always say technology specifically is a very important tool and opportunity to even change the narrative, right, of a nation development. And for us at FlexiSAF, that's what we are focused. Being in the education space, we understand the role of technology and digital transformation. Even though definitely there are some regulation and some of the foundation and support from the government, but I think we have a lot of opportunity to leapfrog, and be, and tap with what is happening globally in terms of technology, and that's where we focus at the private. Also very active in the ecosystem. That's where generally ideas come. And I recall, Eric Schmidt, former Google of CEO, he always make this point that innovation really comes from an established, traditional agency. It usually comes from these startups, someone that has identified an opportunity and is very bold and ambitious to change the status quo. That's how innovation mostly happens. If you go back through the history of Silicon Valley, the likes of Intel that started the whole startup culture and so on, and even VC, the venture capital industry, all this started from these young people that identified there are other ways to raise capital, there are other ways to drive innovation and change, the culture and narrative of how things are done. I think this is the critical role of startups, how to take advantage of technology, the advancement that is happening with all this coming together and participating in the ecosystem. It also helps even the public sector, the direction that they can go. Where is this innovation happening? What is this, startups and companies, emerging companies, what are they driving? And that will coming together with now the public sector will help in driving, the whole development and change the whole narrative in terms of nation building, GDP and so on. So in a summary, I think the startups have a role to play, and we just need to continue to focus on this innovation and digital transformation, and also, of course, continuous engagement. And we are fortunate, what the government, the ministry, the likes of NIDA are doing, and we just need to continue in that direction. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. This is going on. Questions you could just back to Maryam. Government is always on. No one can do this alone. We're talking about, for instance,
So, in the start of acts, it's clearly mentioned that there's going to be an ecosystem moving involves forms, as because it's like you're taking a child and forgetting their mother, right? So there's no way we will do anything without engaging and ensuring the hubs are supported. And supporting the hub, of course, involves a lot of angles that we're looking at. That's in terms of capacity. I have a lot of hubs that requires a lot of for them to actually be able to implement programs that would support the startups. That is the step that it's well captured in the Startup Act, and of course that's aspect. And another angle here is when it comes to infrastructure. So there's no way we say, oh, we're going to support all the hubs to provide them with the government doesn't have that. But of course, in instances where there is a decent program is rolled out and the hubs performed, there's going to be a kind of assessments and all that. And then, of course, this transition to those kind of forms, and this can be justified by the performance of the hub and also verified by the beneficiaries. This incentivization can come with access, can come with access to tools and resources that because nobody's going to build your business. And if we say, if the government says we are going to come and build the hub for you, then it doesn't make sense for you. But actually, that angle of supporting and also in terms of looking at ways to see how the hubs can also be saved from every multiple taxation. That is also an angle that we're looking at. But just for your information, is the federal government part, but most of the things it revolves around the state government, the subnationals. If the subnationals did not adopt or domesticate the Federal Act, then whatever is happening, you won't feel it. If in my state or in Katana state, nothing will happen. Because the thing is, the federal government can just do the certain aspect that is in line with its federal mandate, but then the state has to do most of it. And I think with this legacy that mostly does not come from the federal government, because most levy from the federal government is the FIRS tax. But those small tax are mostly the state taxations that are pressurized. So at the moment here, what I would advise is, yes, the federal government will use its part to ensure implementation, but try as much as possible to push for the domestication of this activity. And pushing for that domestication is through advocacy. Advocacy, that's they're just going to be discussing about it now. Trying to engage them in kind of and from there, you will be saved from the sanitation tax, you'll be saved from the signage tax, you'll be saved from I think the business premises tax also, right? And all those so land use tax, aside from that, so all those taxation
both of you. Quite what? Not just as right now in public sector. What this guy just
I think it should start from the beginning of when you start, because you know it's a habit. When you're used to conventional way of doing things, like you're used to taking records on a sheet of paper, it will be very difficult for me to change right from the beginning. That's why the culture of registering your business early, trademarking your business IP, the culture of digitizing your processes, accounting, marketing, inventory, all those things. That's from the work. Even if you don't have things to record, try to utilize this platform, HR, payroll, all those things. You start it from the beginning, because you are tech. You might be a tech startup, or if you are not tech startup, you are SME. Still, that process of organization, because nobody's going to tell you to say you have to do it. But then you just get left out. Your productivity will not be as effective, or productivity will be less, or the efficiency of your business will be less if you are not doing transport. And that means, like, okay, if I come to your business and I realize that you don't have that kind of system in your business, and I'm willing to support. Assuming now, I think there was a time after COVID that they requested, the government requested for people to apply for, I think that it was a grant to support some businesses, and you need to have all this documentation around your salary payment. You have a lot of people missed out on those opportunities because all those processes you don't document. You won't have all that record. And what happens to your business? You miss out on an opportunity that will support your staff. You were actually looking at supporting your staff. It was paying some salaries to your staff and all that. But a lot of businesses did not get access to it. Because only the bigger businesses got it, because the smaller businesses feel like, okay, I have to be big for me to also implement those kind of processes. So start from the beginning, then you can be able to access all the necessary opportunities when the time comes.
Right. Practically, private sector guys, do you people actually, or do you just study it and you don't implement the operations?
Yeah. Do we actually?
You actually operate digitally, or do you just study it in the books and don't implement? Things like payroll and all of that. You fully digital?
Yeah, for FlexiSAF, fortunately we started everything almost digital, from day one. And that's why when COVID even came, it was really easy for us to transition for remote work. Today, maybe, I don't know if you went around the office, you probably see many empty desks. So it's really, I would say we are kind of fully remote, and it's optional. People come to the office when they need. So I remember, I signed up for Google Workspace when it was still free for up to 50 staff, and all our documentation and so on. That culture was built from day one. We had to start paying when we exceeded the 50, users limit. There was a time, they made it even only 10 and so on. But for those of us that signed up much earlier, we enjoyed, that free for many years. So in our own case, honestly, I think most of our things, our accounting, our payroll, our customer support, our HR, almost everything is digital. And I think from my own, the upcoming startups, because where this is mostly text, is digital. But of course, there's always room for improvement, especially in terms of accounting. I'm sure Founder Institute, you have experience working with the startups, mentoring them. These are some of the things some startups underestimate from day one, and they don't have, they don't digitize or automate the financial aspect very early, which might be more complicated in the long run. So, but starting early, the startup act and some of the requirements, to level a startup or for them to accept will be, regulated and encouraged as much as possible. Yeah, I would say almost 100% paperless. I remember when, one of, and he came to my office, he said, this is the paperless table. Rarely see any paper on my table. So we hope to continue on that.
Before we go on, Maryam, I was very, very much excited when this because realize, and I'm sure a lot of us realize, when previous government talked about they are thinking about doing this. But in the free LTT, I saw the direction. Able to get them to work. Now, what did you use? Creating that potentially to help guys to get that insurance. Yes, will train you. Also, will also have these guys out there. Oh, there's a house here in Nigeria.
Yeah, so creativity is the main goal. Everyone has been doing. Everyone has been doing whatever comes in is different. But the main thing about creativity is that placement. That's the main thing about creativity. And of course, in GMT, we have a name that happens placement for organizations. Okay, we inform them to take this because we cannot say employ this person that because it's a beginner. We encourage internship opportunity for this people. And from internship, if you realize that he's definitely motivated that person. And still, we reach out to both multinationals, international organizations, local organizations, SMEs, join to we have a form that you would apply, and you need a study, you need social number of people. And so far as it meets, because we have a criteria, and criteria is because the kind of agreement. Because there's this thing about the student that when you say agreement, his way of thinking of an intern is a staff that will come and place out others so that I don't have to pay. Is coming for free and place out others. But an intern is someone that comes and learns from you. So it's not going to be as useful as you think he would be what he's learning. And after his learning, you now be fully engrossed into the organization to be able to do much more. But so that's why that internship aspect, we need to get ourselves aware of what we are getting into by collecting interns from the and the essence is these are people that are joining organizations to learn, and after learning, then that's when they can be able to replace those people that. Yes, so that's that, and then of course we are very, very keen about the placement. So at every cohort, the partner with mentoring for the engineer, we are also looking at how, aside from the placements in organization, we're looking at how can these people grow into startups. That is why we do innovation challenges, and currently we are also doing hackathon for the first cohort, for them to be able to see how they can. From there, is giving those people that have not gotten jobs, but are not interested in jobs, it's an opportunity for them and be able to access go to the pipeline of incubation. A few of those that have participated in the innovation challenge are also there. That's 1 million naira each for the 6 people that have, and these people are going through an incubation that will be supported. So they lead by example. So when you want to call people, you say, okay, you want to do that, you bring it and take them from there. So that's part of the and looking for any organization here that is also looking for interns to support to join this team and support it. Please feel free to reach out to the 3MTT and we'll get connect you with the right you have share with you a pool of data about this startups you interview engage and see those that are within your the needs of your organization and you can take them on your organization and engage. That's and also gigs if you have like data collection jobs, if you have sometimes record if you have anything that has to do with any gig that you have and legitimate gig that you have and you want 3MTT fellows to engage and we'll definitely have people all across the country, local governments, all the local governments, almost all the 774 local governments, a lot of them have registered 3MTT have access to have people that are well recorded. So these are individuals that are well recorded. It's not like I'll say I bring 3 million people and say show me the 3 million, I cannot really true. If it's well recorded project that you need to pinpoint and say, oh, this is because it's recorded by his NIN and his details are captured, so you can be able to pinpoint that person.
Very much. We'll go on to the next questions for please. Okay. I see Shaban, who else? I see 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's do this. Let's just take all the questions and then we'll, yes, whatever order. Shaban.
Okay. Thank you very much for this.
Introduce yourself, Ray, and
my name is Shaban.
what now or whatever.
My name is Shaban Haruna, founder of Serena Space. We are a healthy food company. And I am an FI alumni, 2023 alumni. For those still doubting about benefits of the program, I'd like to encourage you. Wonderful. Passing on, building my business. So my question is, since we are all here, is directed to both everyone. So it's about this new startups house in San Francisco. I'd like to know this FI is in San Francisco and the ministry is now in San Francisco. So one of the benefits mentioned was that we should expect more foreign direct investment for startups because that is one area where startups have really, let me say, suffered in terms of support. Like for my business personally, I was doing a lot of theory until Tony Lulu came through for us and gave us $5,000, and that is how we've been able to hit this and been able to get solid traction. So there are startups that are really in need of this. So now that we are in San Francisco, how can we begin? I'd like to learn more about benefits that startups should begin to expect from that presence, and yeah, basically that's just
I just brought it up now. Yes, I saw here. Okay.
Yes, my name is Toby Akinyele. I'm from FI Cohort 7. I'm building my sport, which is a talent marketplace that connects creative talents. So my question is, what are the plans national? Because one of the major things I think for emerging economies like ours, now that the talents are trained, and you guys are secret, by the way. How can we sell idea that hey, African talents are being multinationals like Microsoft, like huge large companies, work with us involved? What do we need to do to start selling such ideas? I know it's possible because again, look at what India has done in tech economy. If you're looking for tech, nationals have they have growth going to India just to get them. I know we can do this. The question is how. What do you think at that point? Because again, some of these high-tech skills that these guys are learning, most Nigerian companies cannot really pay premium. But global economies can actually pay because they need this.
Okay. Just go like this.
Okay, so thank you very much. My name is Chris. Yeah, take it start with any experience. What are we doing? So what we are doing is a never have presence be able to see
Yes, I found out always. So I was about the question. Let's just let it out.
Okay, thank you very much. So Rental was a platform for our app that renters helps voices. So back to my regarding the digital ads, she mentioned that there are like only IC and the research on that. First question is like so that I don't want to get a resource online. I need to get it.
You know what I'm going to do? Searching is very, very important. Find yourself. Go find out. Now, in response to that question, Maryam is going to respond to that question. Okay. Okay. That's an assignment for you. And that's you get the strategic document, get it out by then.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Balu Compassi. I'm a software engineer and I'm trying to realize the whole research. Really big issue. We are trying to build the proper documentation and easy documentation method. You don't have to go to the field and easily connect. How do we have an easy partnership? You know, we have this issue of lack of factual data. And we are trying to solve these problems. I'm trying to, link up with some government agencies. I've sent MDS. So we need to know how we can actually have swift collaborations with government agencies. I want you to give us insights on that. And also, I want you to tell us how you are trying, how the ministry is trying to create swift ecosystem for partnerships in the startup. And also, lastly, how is the ministry trying to maximize what I mean by maximizing is, for example, the M3 entity, those who are really interested. They have those that thinking the whole buying and selling of data. This simply means there's a gap. So how can we maximize? Because the global talent visa, when I saw the requirements, you realize that they are really the metrics that are used to get this talent are really there. Digital accounts, they ask for experiences, they ask for letter of recommendation, and they just get this talent. So how is the ministry trying to tap into maximize the talent, those who are really, really interested in building the system And without them doing anybody, how that process
My name is Maryam one of this way. Imagine technology. My friends. Well, and that's it. It is a pleasure to have you. And I want to thank our by offering what presenting the issue of innovation. What I do. Like, because when I look around, face all the way from that's really wise. Not like people say, sorry, I will also say that absolutely is their shot. I don't know how you quality because most people that have this idea don't have
Answers all of those questions. Just want to get that out. Like me and you don't know your card number. 5AB. YAB 441. It's a blue card. That number is not mine. I think mine has a 7 in it. If it is about, it's very fast as an amendment, she has to be open. She's going to open. So if please let me see your face.
Hi,
Oh, you're still around?
30 more minutes.
Okay, 30 more minutes. So whoever has that card, don't move it out yet. So, okay, I looked at some of this. The first one was just summary. What's in this San Francisco about? That's about.
Just like as from the recap, that is true. This is a house where if we need to be that we need
OUF mode.
it's an opportunity for startups from Nigeria and actually have access to when you are in San Francisco, an opportunity to San Francisco, yeah, to be able to access. And then too, it's a way for them if they are trying to reach out to Nigerian ecosystem, a way for them to actually directly come. Because there is this, especially in the international community, they have trust issues with the Nigerian ecosystem. You understand? But with this kind of infrastructure that in their community, they now have it's a platform where they know that whoever passes through that from the government side is vetted, is a vetted startup that we can actually engage. And for them to, for us to, it's like it gives you also a step space when you're there to actually do that with you. There's a hub that gives you that it's more like you are in it's more like for you to say, okay, I'm from San Francisco, but kind of in Nigeria. That's why it's also managed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as a consortium. So, and it's also a way of programs will also be created, exchange programs will also be actualized from this opportunity. The exchange program is such a way that we give the startups from Nigeria that actually have an opportunity to a startup house. And just like it was said, it's going to be managed not by the government. So you should think that it's going to be the consortium of private sector who is managing. So it might be FI and other institutions to come to come and manage. So just like a lot of things are coming out from this startup house, or just like I would say, this is just a beginner to say it's a permission has been granted to utilize this space, and from there, of course, a lot of brainstorming sessions will come out to break out the things that can actually be utilized. But the opportunities are limitless, and I'm sure this is a way of saying bringing Silicon Valley cruiser to Nigeria for better collaboration and opportunities for the startups.
Something really said, implementing. Thanks. Thank you. So trade this time. I think you want to walk into that place to do something.
It's not gonna happen.
So, yeah. Second question is something about national security services, right? How do we get to that? Some of these guys, whoever accepted.
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah, some of these guys. This guy, price. To be right.
Yeah, and actually to get them, what can we do to get them? Get them to look at us also.
Yeah. Don't go and look for guys out there.
But actually, I would say that whether they like it or not, they are coming to us. Yeah, because of the aging population in the aging population, and of course, so the main thing is now their eyes are looking at Africa, and Africa, Nigeria, because of our populous nation and because of the gap project that we are doing at the moment. It's been mentioned in quite a number of places. So of course, their eyes are looking, okay, where are these technical talents that Nigeria is building? And of course, I'm giving you a skill. Let's say I'm giving you a platform. Sorry. It's not easy. Pressure. So when you're given an opportunity, just like the beneficiaries of this community, when you're given an opportunity, I've taken you to the platform, I'm giving you access to learn. What next is for you to get yourself more committed, learn more, and be able to have a LinkedIn profile, portray yourself, use platform like yours to create profiles to get yourself listed and have opportunity. So the main thing for you now is actually for you is to collaborate with engage the community managers to see, oh, I have a platform that lists startup. Let us reach out to the preemptive team that okay, you have a platform and this is where you want to list out the startups from there. And they can look into that platform and say, oh, startups should we'll share the links to not startups, I mean preemptive fellows. They can go through, they can share links to the preemptive fellows, and preemptive fellows can create profiles from there, and then it's an opportunity for your platform to grow and so. So it's actually by the time we have done our part, building your capacity, creating a platform, and are you a platform for you to access job opportunity? That's in terms of internships and also other job placements, gigs and all that. It's now left for the president to actually continuously groom themselves and be able to access better opportunities. And also in terms of your questions around payments, I think it's a worldwide thing. It's not only in IT that Africans get sometimes in some countries because of their biases. They will say the Africans are paid less than this is an issue of it's a global issue, and I think it has to do with more of diplomatic engagement between the countries. So this is a work of actually foreign affairs to engage with other countries that and engage in those kind of conversations to ensure that the populace of Nigeria are not discriminated and are not viewed and they're paid every activism. So I think it's a diplomatic kind of conversation, and it's a worldwide. It's not just it cuts across all sectors, not just tech sector, but across all sectors. Something because of course it's also a conversation that by engaging in this kind of I think a lot of things that we need to do is it's some in terms of advocacy. I might be invested, but this is an oversight for someone. So if you can engage this conversation in a more civil way to engage and send a message to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, this is what is happening. If you can engage in a diplomatic conversation, these countries to know that okay, our Nigerians are getting job opportunities, but they're being underpaid. There's a way of you triggering a conversation from there so that the discrimination can stop, because we're all fighting against this kind of discrimination and this kind of advocacy. And actually, maybe you can start by writing that and you don't know what to do. I need to change that, you never know.
The third question will be answered by myself. I'll answer one part of it, you answer the other part. Now, I mentioned from that. Ecosystem tells you that every you're thinking, they are actually. But what they are doing for us, think of it right now. Platform. So I'm saying this, we need to look at ministers of course their own parents. 5 pillars. Infrastructure, knowledge, trade, policy, and we've got some that's in there and we are right now in company quite a lot. FI is hiring those benefit guys. We need to also do the UI dice framework, partner evidences network, others and with at Maryam, FI, how can we help out? How can we partner and get things to you? You also want to come to do.
I think any government utterance that is the government has made, what I understand, and I think it's a learning that I never knew until I joined the team. Any government utterance that is an opportunity. What is left for us Nigerians to actually tackle. If you can remember, the government is making a lot of utterances around tech now. What are we doing around tech? The government is talking a lot about agriculture. That means a lot of funding going to be directed to those sectors. What are you doing? Either you decide to be a first mover or a last mover. Yeah. So when they make those kind of utterances around things around that, we should know that the direction and the focus of the government. We can see ever since we started, a lot of approvals have been made by His Excellency the President about a lot of opportunities that were requested, as from the Fiverr to startup house to the startup acts. A lot of things are around that. So what are you doing to ensure that you are able to tap that? And so does things around food security. You may see that the President will make an utterance. Once that utterance, we follow on those things. Don't take them as okay, this is just a political utterance. It's just your perception. It's just our perception. You know, we tend to be a lot of we make this to be a lot of negativity around that. Even if you don't like friends, if you don't like the president, or you don't like this, or you don't like what we say, it is what it is. So it's for you to tap into those opportunities and be able to get your returns from that. That's building businesses, solving problems within the community, and getting the best out of it.
What question I think we'll answer it. How can us if he was you said that.
No, I was stating about how they can build a very good ecosystem for collaboration in the country.
Yeah, I think the first step for you, this is just a tip. I mean that if you begin to go, all these people that you're looking for actually attend this kind of event. It's actually for the government's official. But you can also be able to see be able to network. It's an opportunity for your platform. So this is just a tip outside. Maybe this just like you want to, because a lot of, let me just say, the startup ecosystem, the people that the civil servants, that you think, okay, he might be a secretariat, but he might be the one that will actually take your letter to the main person that would is probably before it reaches the it's not like the main person has seen it and has ignored it. Probably that person that you're underestimating is the one that has not taken the letter to the main person. So it's an opportunity to actually look into that and be able to do relations. And I think one of the things that we do have is ability to build network and connections. I might be here, I would say that, I learned something when I went to Israel. They said they have a culture in college, which means a culture, willingness to share. We Nigerians we have that culture, willingness to share. I might be here, but I know someone in the NPS that can actually facilitate whatever you want to do, but I don't want to connect you with that at this time. So we should invite that. That's the purpose of this mixer that we're in here. Why, if you share, you lose nothing. Because by making him grow, you would be able to have and you'll be able to, and when he grow, it's for you to say, oh, I've supported this person that is where he is. And you don't know, he might not be the one to support you. He might even forget about you. But what will happen is what you have not done for him, someone will do it to you. And you don't know where it will take you. And we have the culture of we see the person next to us and we just undermine his capacity and we know. I could tell you this from my personal experience that there was a time in 2016, I went to Nigeria. You know, these conferences, you don't like spending money to attend. I was living in Kano then. I have to take like to come to Abuja, book a hotel, and then attend the event. And then I was sitting, I was tired, so I just found a place and I was sitting. At that time, Dell came and they had a yeah. So I did Dell and I was sitting, and then someone came and sat next to me and we chatted. So he was like, hey Hadia, where are you from? We chatted and I was friendly and we had a conversation around that. And he was like, okay. After that, he said, oh, do you have your card? I said, yes, I gave him my card. So he said, oh, I don't have money. So please let me have your name. So he gave me, he took my notepad and he wrote his contact and his role and his name. And of course, I covered the book and I didn't open it. So it was after, in Digital Nigeria, it didn't happen in November and December came. So I was just thinking, I was like, okay, I met this person in Nigeria, let me wish him Merry Christmas and so I just looked for the book and I opened it. Guess who was it? It was the PA to the he was the PA to the VP, and of course, I sent him Happy Christmas, Happy Holidays, and he called at some point and was like, oh, would you like to come to the villa? I said, yes, I would like to. So we see someone next to us, and because we just feel like so networking, when you network, and for my network with him, I could tell you that he took me to Vivatech. He was, I would say that man, he is a true mentor who would open doors for you. In any opportunity, remembers the people that he knows. That was the first time he doesn't know anything. I didn't ask him for anything, but he sees the potential because you are able to connect, to be able to network. So whenever you go to places like that, try as much as possible. Right? And when you see all those events, that you say, oh, I was spending money, go to and to do what you and connect, learn, open your mind, and be able to. Because I could remember the conversation kind of was just based on the panel session that happened and your perspective to that kind of conversation. So that means assuming if I didn't get anything from that panel session, I won't be able to converse with him and I won't be able to convince him that I have the capacity for him. So this is just a tip for you that any opportunity that you send someone, try to connect and build your network because of course your network is your network.
So much. Amazing. Last question. What I get from this corporate networking. Stakeholder engagement. And what was it? Stakeholder. Say something about transformation, exposition. Question from the audience. What are you guys? You know when people want. What are you guys doing to help identify these comments. Relevant, right, Michael?
So at the moment, I would say the ministry is launching for ISM, and you stay tuned to looking for solutions around infrastructure vandalization. And of course, once the innovation challenge is launched, supposed to be launched, I think, this or next week. So once they launch that, it's an opportunity to have an idea to apply for that kind of thing. And I think the government actually, one of the things that I see is government will not come as if we have an idea I need to use. When I can find someone that already is ready made, you understand? I advise that people should one is even the hubs. I believe that people that have ideas will want to hubs and say, oh, I want to help them. But you must be ready. One is I can do that product for you. I can be able to support you business development support. I can be able to guide you. I can be able to connect you with people that can. But I cannot pay for that people to do it. It's left for you now to look for a co-founder who is technically skilled that can be able to build that product so that you can build that product together. But nobody is going to build a business for you. Nobody is going to build a business for you. Assuming the government is like the government of the these years when they have all that tons of money. Don't do that for you because nobody will do it. But when you have that initial commitment is you have an MVP. You have an MVP, definitely all the opportunities to. But if you don't have anything to showcase, it's just an idea on paper. Everyone has an idea on paper, and everyone doesn't have money. Only the person that has money does not have money. That is what we say now. Now, if you hold the one over there and say, okay, please, you have money, tell you that have money, but if you see his bank account, you will tell. Okay, so that's how we are. So I think it's a culture in us that we try as much as possible before you approach and have something substantial for them to listen to you. Whether it's the government, whether it's the private sector, nobody is that basic MVP or that basic product that you can showcase and say for them to actually listen. And I think you asked one question about maximizing talent. So I will tell you that as a government, you are responsible for the person that is good and the person that is not good. We are all responsible, and you have to give everyone the opportunity. And just by this example that I've given you, it's not because I'm trying to discredit the person, it's because you do not know what you are getting. But because when you get data and your English is not good enough, you understand the first thing that you start thinking of is that data that we're using, data analysis for data, internet data, that's it. So what we do with that is we're not going to what we do with that's the essence of that foundation. And it's so powerful. So you start with foundational skills and then you move to the next technical skills. And if you apply for data analysis for really also you cannot do data analysis product management, you understand. Something simpler than what you do. And we introduce assessments, skill-based assessment. So after the foundational skills assessment, and you use physically to test. And then when you do that, then we see, oh, this person is not good enough for this team. Just because let's get into graphics design. He might be good in graphics design. It's more simpler, more of drag and drop. So it's easier for him because he cannot adopt data analysis. So that is the approach we are taking to maximize because we cannot kick people out. The government, assuming you apply, I kick you out. The social media will shake. So that's the strategy because we're trying to make sure that everyone, because even the people that we see, they're not good enough. the end of the day, we give them an opportunity, might turn out to be something that is positive to clients.
Thank you so much. And okay, Petra.
Yeah, so everyone, my name is wonderful. Follow-up question. Different software. One other
So the debt involvement is targeted to become civil service. That's one difference. For you, if you're not in civil service, it's not but that does not discriminate you from actually participating. But the main event, the target areas, and whoever is attending the events of service. That is on that angle of debt involvement. And for IDA's angle, the ministry, of course, the IDA's, it has to be with the tech and also for our part from the creative from the tech angle, of course, we are very much involved technology aspect. But IDA is the past 2 weeks from the like the national policy, and then and then of course we are in consultation with us as because also the so they are in control, or we are actually like kind of strategic partners. Tourism, we are minister of communication, innovation, and digital.
That's my question.
So tech in tourism, reach out to ONDI, Office of Nigerian Digital Innovation. So these are places, and they have a project called IHatch. IHatch program is an accelerator program that you can apply, and is a free and fair selection and you can be able to get into. Just this is assurance that I give you that whatever you see is rolled out by this currently our Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy is a free and fair selection. Free and fair selection. I said this earlier, and I'm going to repeat it again. Me and my head, I'm going to, if I'm asked on the day of judgment that I will give an example of preemptivity. Someone has applied and has called for this. Only related to be selected, no one gets that. Ever has participated in preemptivity. This one is free. And so does the DLC. Ever has participated. Nobody has called, nobody from the top level said you should apply, we review, consultants will review, and they will show this. And he also give you an opportunity to go and get ready again. And then you come back with the criminal cover and apply again, and you'll be reviewed without judging you for what happened past. That's, I'm telling you, if you see an opportunity, it's because might be like might be that you have not written something. Because we have the attitude that we see something is government initiative, we just apply it. Time around, people sit down, read it, go through it, and then you give you. So it's not like you just apply and call someone. You have to take your time to do the application like that.
Thank you. Well, I think thank us all. Panelists, sorry, start to drop out. Our dear mentors who are time to join us, our partners, the alumni, the current guys, all of you, really appreciate you. And everything is so change that to the government. You know, you no longer the and Our refreshments are there. Founders, boards, and alumni, please don't let these guys there. Those will be, I've seen all of them there. Michael is there. All right, cool. Just let's see. Just go. Just go. All right, cool. So welcome. Thank you all for coming. It's a time for you guys to quickly plug them, plug them. Come on, because where are you going to? And that's the main base. Event domains, alumni, she's an alumni and also a mentor. So how are we doing with the refreshment, guys? You get to know yourself by looking for your own idea. Right? So we decided to do one.
The part of the agenda we like that. So want to do presentation of agenda photos. Yes, so for yeah. Oh, thank you so much.
This is
Mentors. Mentors. So thank God. Yes, I be feeling.
Thank you very much.
That really yes, because okay, sorry. Yes. And some of us can.
Let's take it from this now. Again. All right, great.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, now we'll have
I doing so I just saw the I haven't. That was something. That's something. Yeah. Well done.
What's the name of the book?
Online but also one day study so that the application of email and WhatsApp. So we're trying to